All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Kayla Lopez coming to you now from the News 12 Now desk. It is 1:58, and we're going to be streaming today. The Augusta Mayor Garnett Johnson will be holding yet another press conference just to give some updates on some Hurricane Helene efforts in the state of the city at the moment. So as soon as that gets started, I'll go ahead and pull that up for us. But that is what we're waiting on. I'll take this here now just in case they do decide to begin. But this is just going to be another one of those updates that they seem to just be having just about every day to provide some updates on power outages, on water, on debris pickup is the big thing right now. A lot of you are sitting with lots of debris still at your home, and they've been giving lots of instruction on that. But this is just going to be sort of another daily update. They have been giving residents on the status of the city of Augusta. So it's set to start in just 1 minute here at 2 p.m. So as soon as that gets started, I'll go ahead and take that full. But in the meantime, it's been almost 2 weeks since Hurricane Helene swept through the CSRA and surrounding counties, and still seeing so much devastation. But there is still so much work to be done, and these press conferences are just a little bit of new information that maybe we can get on some recovery efforts and see what's still open. We do know that the only standing shelter available in Augusta is the Henry Brigham Community Center. They closed May Park, and then I do believe that also one of the only remaining pod sites will be closing today as well. So I believe that they will mention that here in this press conference, as well as some other updates. So again, we're still just waiting on that to begin. We should be seeing the mayor any minute now to just give kind of some of those brief updates. But for the most part, over the last almost week, I want to say that the water in Augusta has been clean since Friday. So that's about 5 days with clean water here in the city of Augusta through Augusta Utilities. So that water is drinkable. So that happened on Friday. So people went into the weekend with some clean water, and we're still continuing with that today. We will get some updates on those numbers for residents that still are without power, and updates on curfews, on street lights, on the status of really our community today. So just still waiting on that to begin. Whenever we see some movement there, I'll go ahead and get us started on that. Should be started any minute now while we wait. But yeah, just waiting on some updates, hopefully get some new numbers, really the big thing is the debris pickup, I think, of today, and what to be doing with that, because those efforts have started. I do know that they've been saying to keep the debris out of the road as close to the front of your yard as you can, and not to block the road with the debris, and also separate it from your normal waste pickup, and make sure that they have access to that, because the regular waste pickup did begin a few days ago as well. So I know they did say they would be making a couple rounds in those harder hit areas in terms of picking up debris. At the last press conference we had Sydney Hood there, and she asked him, is it just a one-time pickup sort of situation that you need to have all of your things out there for them to pick it up? In those harder hit areas, they did say would see about 3, maybe 4 pass-throughs. So they did just ask that, we're patient with them. So I do think that's going to be one of the bigger things that they speak about today, is that debris pickup, because now that a lot of people are starting to get water back and power back, and we do know so many of you still are without those basic necessities. So we are still updating on our website all of those places where you can go and pick up the food, the water, the baby diapers, the baby formula, the shelters, the showers, the ice, all of that. But as more people are starting to get power and starting to get back to somewhat of this new normal life here in Augusta, we're starting to think about stuff like all of the debris and all of the mess that's been left from this storm. So we will have that here shortly as soon as they get started. And I think I'm gonna just take a quick break really quick while we wait, just about a minute break, and then I'll come back if we see anything. So yeah, just gonna take about a break for a minute, and we'll be right back. as I went to take that break, he started. So we're actually going to go ahead and go into this right now.
Test.
I think they're doing some testing, so we'll see if they're actually getting started. But it looks like they are about, and this is a new location today. Normally, I believe they do these outside, so we're inside today, it looks like. But it does look like he's getting ready to get started.
Hey, man.
So I'll go ahead and turn this audio off while we wait and while we get our camera positioned. But again, this will just be an update from Augusta Mayor Garnett Johnson on sort of the state of the city, any updates, any debris removal updates, any power outage updates. And I do think the debris removal will be one of the bigger ones today in terms of, like I said, people are starting to get power back. People are starting to find some sort of new normalcy. And the next step with that is obviously figuring out what to do with your damaged homes and all of this debris that's been left in your yard and on the road, and making that that a bit easier as well. So I'm sure we'll get some updates here on that, and he should be getting started any minute now, so we'll just be waiting on that. But it has been, I want to say 5 days since, I guess, utilities water has been cleaned, 100% safe. So people had water going into the weekend, and we do know that some of you are still struggling without those basic necessities. So we have all of those resources on our website if you're still looking to get your hands on some of those much needed resources. And every day it does seem to get just a little bit better as we begin to understand what this new normal feels like here in the CSRA. So in Augusta, we are going to be listening to Augusta Mayor Garnett Johnson and give some updates on the state of the city. So just waiting on that. Looks like he might be going over some notes, making sure he has everything right that he wants to say, make sure he doesn't miss out on anything. This should look like all of the other ones that we've been doing here up on the News 12 Now desk. They have been going a little bit shorter lately, just as the updates get smaller, so it should just sort of be what we've been looking at all of the last 2 weeks in terms of updates. So we'll listen to what the state of power looks like, a curfew update, distribution site updates. If you're just now joining us, I was saying a little bit earlier that there is just one standing shelter. I think he's about to get started, so we'll take this now.
Oh, man, we went on anybody else? Good day, y'all. How's everybody? All right. Day 13, I really appreciate you guys being here. Again, appreciate your patience. Just want to start off by asking everyone to extend their prayers to those that are in South Florida as they prepare for Hurricane Milton. As you can imagine, for 13 days we've been going through it, but unfortunately someone else's time, and hopefully we're getting to a point now that at some point we could provide some assistance to them. So I want to continue to thank the volunteers and the staff of Augusta Richmond County. As you know, this effort could not be possible if it were not from many of our departments, our department heads, our employees, many citizens throughout our county that continue to help us in amazing ways. We continue to operate one of our points of delivery out at Southgate Plaza. Today will be the final day that we distribute water and tarps. We're going to start transitioning. Chief will go into detail about that, but Southgate for the next 3 days will be used as a point of delivery for some hot meals. I think I'll let Chief describe the effort there, but let me just say that this has been an overwhelming amount of work by our community partners. Our McDonald's owner-operators are going to be distributing some hot meals at Southgate Plaza, but so many of our community partners, from the Community Hub to Warren Baptist Church, the Oasis Church on Deansbridge Road, so many resources are out there that a lot of people just don't know about. So I would ask that if you have the ability to look up social media on your phones, for those of you that are still struggling with hot meals and just some of those simple resources, that you look out to some of our neighborhood churches and some of our neighborhood partners, and you will find something. So the curfew, as of effective immediately, has been lifted. So as you know, we've been on our curfew from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Effective immediately, it's been lifted. We feel strongly that we're in a position now with the number of traffic signals that we have operating that is no longer needed. However, I'm going to continue to stress to be safe, and that some of these intersections that don't have operating signals, they have stop signs there, and we're asked that you continue to operate in the same manner. If there's not an operating traffic signal, consider it like a four-way stop, to continue to show patience as is desperately needed. If you don't have to be on the roads, especially at night, don't travel on the roads, but we are not going to have a curfew. Keep in mind, we still have a lot of utility trucks that are throughout our communities, and they need the ability to get to these neighborhoods and to these areas where they can provide us help and assistance to those who are still struggling with some of the simplest things of power. And I'm gonna move right over into Georgia Power. 98% of our community in Augusta Richmond County has been restored. That leaves 2% remaining, which translates to 2,270 customers. That's an amazing feat by our power partners at Georgia Power and all of their efforts that they're doing throughout the county. As I mentioned yesterday, mosquitoes are really bad right now, and we're asking everybody to continue to apply insect repellent. If you don't have to be out at dusk, please don't be out, especially some of those that are the most vulnerable. We're in the process of trying to find a solution. In addition to our nightly sprays that's been done by our Department of Public Health, just keep in mind we have a big county and they just don't have the resources to spray the entire county within the time frame in which we need it. So we are exploring other options to make sure that we're keeping our residents safe as it relates to mosquito control. Debris removal continues to improve. On site now we have 24 trucks. I reported a couple of days we only had 15 trucks, and 2 days ago we had removed 5,000 cubic yards of debris. As of yesterday alone, they removed 10,000 cubic yards of debris, and our goal is to get to 70 to 75 trucks. So we're up to about 24. So as you can imagine, we're ramping up to meet the needs, not only of our residents, to make sure we stay on our 90-day timeline where we can receive 100% reimbursement by FEMA. I'm getting ready to call Chief up, but I want to continue to stress, I can't say this enough, our ability to recover is still some ways off, in that there's still a lot of trees that are down. Even though our power is being restored, we have water, but there's still going to be a lot of cleanup. As you can imagine, and as you can see, there's a lot of storm debris that's sitting on the side of our roads, which also makes it hazardous. That debris also lends to the ability for these mosquitoes not only to nest, but to breed. So continue to reiterate, if you have pools of water or things in your yard that has collected water, we would ask that you drain those sources of mosquitoes being able to breed. Continue to practice patience, continue to be courteous. We're getting better day by day, but let's pray for our neighbors to the south as they prepare for Hurricane Milton. And keep in mind, if we get gusts in this area of 20 or 30 miles an hour, we still have a lot of vulnerable trees. So we're hoping that it doesn't impact us as much, but we're certainly praying for our neighbors. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Antonio Burden. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. Just a few updates. As our families return home and find damage to their residence, I want to remind everyone that the Henry Brigham Center is still open and available. We're here for you. Please stay safe and reach out if you need help. The conditions in and around our city does not fare well with open burning. And so I want to caution everyone as it relates to open burning to ensure the safety of you and your loved ones and your neighbors. Once again, we caution against any burning of your yard debris. Just move that to the front of your yard and it will get picked up. Our operation at Southgate, today will be the last day for our pod distribution site at Southgate. Please make sure that you stop by if you still need supplies. I want to definitely send out a huge thank you to our partners with McDonald's. They will be on site tomorrow, delivering free meals to our community from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Southgate Plaza location. Their goal is 3 days, but obviously while supplies last. As the mayor mentioned, our curfew is being lifted, but we want to caution our citizens to continue to be safe, exercise caution in and around those areas in terms of traffic lights that may be still out and such. So continue to operate safely and govern yourselves accordingly. FEMA. So FEMA is actively canvassing door to door in the city of Augusta. They're offering disaster assistance to those affected by Hurricane Helene. I want to remind those that they can seek help online, disasterassistance.gov, or they can call 1-800-621-3362. That's 1-800-621-3362. And then finally, I want to send a huge thanks to our National Guard partners. Today will be their last day here in the city. Tremendous support received by them, and so our hats off to them in the efforts that they did to support the city. Once again, I want to thank everyone and know that we're here for you. If you need help, please do not hesitate to reach out to us.
Wes Bond with the Water Department. Just want to be real clear and brief. All systems are operational. All water is operational. If you do not have water, please call dispatch 706-842-3060. We have some areas where trees are still down on the mains or have uprooted some sewer lines. We're working to get those clear, working with our debris contractors and our on-call contractors to get those repaired as rapidly as possible. But please call us or 311 if you continue to experience any water outages. Thank you.
All right, we're going to get to a couple of questions here in just a second, but I want to stress one additional thing as I'm sitting here thinking. As those of you, our neighbors, our residents, our friends, as you know, there's many resources throughout our community, our pod that's operating in Southgate. I'm going to ask folks, if you don't need it, don't come get it. I know yesterday there's a lot of things on social media regarding there were toys available, there were a lot of things. Those things are no longer available. All we have right now, is bottled water and tarps. If you don't need any bottled water, you don't need any tarps, please, let's try to preserve it for those that are going to need it as a result of Hurricane Milton or those that are still suffering in Asheville, North Carolina. We can always send those resources other places. So if you have plenty of bottled water, please stay home. Our stores are now open, our grocery stores, our gas stations. We're coming to a point of where we are comfortable. Let us be cognizant and aware and pray for those who are going to be affected by Hurricane Milton. All right? All right. We'll ask a few questions if you guys have any.
You mentioned earlier that in terms of the city, the ability to recover is still some ways off. In your own words, where does Augusta stand in terms of recovery just compared to where we were whenever the storm first
Right, the question was, and I'm going to repeat it because so many people that are watching the city can hear it, where does we stand in the recovery effort with the city of Augusta? I feel confidently that if you look at where we were in day one and day two, we were really struggling just to find some of the most simplest needs. Bottled water, having potable water. Today we're in a really good place where 98% of our residents now have the ability to have power. 100% have water, and it's clean, it's potable water. Our roadways are fairly safe except for those few intersections, and some of them are busy intersections that don't have power, but we're addressing that hour by hour. We've had the ability to lift a 10 p.m. curfew, which shows that we're on our way. If you look at how we're demobilizing the National Guard, we demobilized GEMA, it just tells you that we're on this path to recovery. There's more people on the roads. There's this bright sense of optimism. Our schools are reopening in some counties, some surrounding counties. We'll be back here in Augusta, Richmond County. So we're making a lot of headway. We just don't want any setbacks.
For the debris, how much longer is that process going to take where they're going to continue to come through and clear roads?
So in order for us to qualify for 100% FEMA reimbursement, we have to get it done within 90 days. So this is just the beginning. If you live in an area where a street has been cleaned, you'll have the ability to go back and put more debris there. I think we're going to make up to 3 passes to every neighborhood. Excuse me.
Do y'all have like any like specific time, like say like on Monday you're gonna go to this neighborhood, or y'all just kind of tackling the places where there's the most debris, kind of working your way down, or how is that working? Like which neighborhood you go to?
We're tackling some of the hardest hit neighborhoods and areas first. And keep in mind, they're all over the county, so it's just not concentrated in one geographic area. We're tackling the hardest hit neighborhoods across the county, and then we'll be making, as I mentioned, several passes to get all of the debris. So if you live in an area where you've seen piles for weeks, just be patient, we'll get there. But we're just trying to make sure that we're allowing for our utility partners and our telecom partners to access poles to restore things like cable and fiber and all of those things. But we are making a concentrated effort to make sure the entire county is cleaned up in a fair and in an equal way. All right. Thank you guys for being here. You guys continue to stay safe, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.
All right, so if you're just now joining us, that was Augusta Mayor Garnett Johnson and some other city officials giving an update on the state of the city at the moment as of Wednesday. And I wrote down some things, so I'm just gonna, if you're just now joining us or got here at the end, I'm gonna say the biggest topics that they mentioned. So they did say that 98% of residents do have power. Power has been restored to 98% of residents here, and he did say that 2% was equal to 2,270 customers, which is much lower than the original count when Hurricane Helene first swept through Augusta. He did also say that 100% of water is good. All water systems are functioning, so majority of residents have power and 100% of residents have water. And they did mention one of the city officials that if you still do not have water, it is probably because lots of trees fell on some water mains and some systems. So they did provide a phone number for that we'll have on our website if you need to contact them about that if you still do not have water. In terms of the pods and the shelters and the distribution sites, they did say that Southgate Plaza, today is the last day they're going to be distributing water at that pod site, but they did say that they are going to start transitioning because it will become a point of delivery for hot meals for the next 3 days from McDonald's. So they will be delivering hot meals to communities at Southgate Plaza. They said their goal is 3 days, but that's obviously until while supplies last for that. They did also say that the Henry Brigham Community Center shelter is still open for those residents and families that may be traveling back into the city and find damage to their homes. That is going to be the only shelter that's open here in the city. May Park did close. So Henry Brigham Community Center will be that shelter for relief if you need it. The Southgate Plaza pod, today is the last day. They're going to be distributing water there. Like I said, they're going to be transitioning into the 3 days, hopefully, of hot meals being delivered to the community through a partnership with McDonald's. So that will be at the Southgate Plaza starting tomorrow. I can't quite remember what time it starts. We'll have that on our website, I'm sure, but it is until 4 p.m. is what I wrote down. Other big news, the curfew from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. has been lifted effective immediately. So he did say that while many power lights are still not working and some of the city is still dark, they have made lots of changes and got lots of those major intersections up and running. And if they weren't still functioning, they've added stop signs there. So if you do come across a major intersection that the lights are not working, please treat it like a 4-way stop sign. So again, the curfew has been lifted effective immediately. They did also bring up the mosquito problem, and they did just say if you have any pools of water sitting around to please drain those. Don't go out at dusk time to avoid that, and to apply insect repellent if you're going to be outside for a long period of time or outside at all, really, with how bad the problems got. And he did say that they're trying to find additional solutions outside of the nightly sprays that they've been doing, but it is a big city, a big county. So they did say just to spray that insect repellent. Debris was another big thing that they spoke about. I know a lot of you probably have debris that's been sitting in front of your yard for about 2 weeks, and they did say that yesterday alone 10,000 cubic yards of debris were removed, and they said they have 24 trucks about doing that now. And they want to stay on that 90-day timeline to have the costs reimbursed 100% by FEMA. Also, speaking about FEMA, he did say that FEMA is canvassing door to door in Augusta, speaking with residents in terms of relief in those efforts and making sure they know about that. And he did say today is the National Guard partners' last day in the city. They've really been working hard here, distributing water, distributing food, going out to those communities and helping in those ways. So today is their last day. So those are all of the things that I took note of, all of those big updates. And then we obviously will have all of this on our website as well in terms of these updated shelters, pod sites, phone numbers, and any sort of assistance that's still continuing and ongoing. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll check in with you guys a little bit shortly in our later newscast. Have a great day.